Hi, this is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make the brick stitch burst earrings. Now these are an exclusive Beadaholique jewelry kit that you can get at beadaholique.com, and today I'm going to walk you through step by step how to do each step of this kit. So if you're unfamiliar with circular brick stitch, this is a great way to learn with our step-by-step instructions. So we have 5 different colorways here for you today. We have 3 in silver, so we have a beautiful pink, a nice green, and a blue. And we also have 2 options in gold. So we have a purple and an orange. So all you need to do is choose your favorite. And like I said, you can get these over at beadaholique.com, and you will be supplied with everything you need, including a beading needle. The only thing that you'll need to provide yourself is a pair of chain nose pliers and a pair of round nose pliers. Now you can use 2 pairs of chain nose pliers if you like, because that's what's going to help us out with our little jump ring there. And you'll also need a pair of scissors or snips to help you with your thread. But if you have everything ready to go, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we are now ready to begin our bead weaving. So I've strung my needle with 4 feet of the fire line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this end here that doesn't have the needle on it, and I'm going to pick up one of my little rings here. Go ahead and slide that through. And you'll want a tail of about 4 to 6 inches or so. And we're just going to tie a simple overhand knot and bring that right down on top of our bead frame. And let's just secure that. So we're going to do one more overhand knot. Just bring that around and through. All right, now give it a nice good tug. We want to make sure that is not going to go anywhere. All right, so we have our tail coming out one side. And then to this side, this is where we have our needle attached. Now I'm going to start with the white beads here. So go ahead and start by picking up 2 of those white beads. And I'm just going to slide them all the way down here to the end. And what we want to do is we want to get them to sit next to each other. So I'm just going to kind of fold that over, and I'm going to bring my needle from the back to the front. And now take my needle up through that first bead right there that's next to my needle. And now I'm just going to pull that through. There we go. And you can see that I'm just kind of situating it with my thumbs now. So we have 2 little thread bridges there, and I have my tail coming out this side, and my needle is now coming out the top of that white bead. So now I'm going to pick up one more white bead, string that all the way down, let it fall. And again, you kind of have to help it out a little bit to kind of fold over. And the same thing, you go through the center and up through that bead. And pull, pull, pull. And I always like to kind of, especially to get these few situated, just kind of work with my fingers and just give it a nice little tug, make sure that's not going to go anywhere. All right, so let me show you that one more time, but we're going to do this all the way around this ring. And go down through. I'm kind of doing it all in one quicker step here. And just kind of hold it with your fingers and up and continue. So now we're going to continue all the way around this ring, and you will add 30 seed beads to this first row. So continue to do that, and when we get to the other side, I'm going to show you the next step. Okay, so I have added all 30 beads here, and before I move on, I want to show you a little thing, and you can do this or you can just kind of cut it off here if you want, but I'm going to take the little tail here and I'm going to string it back up through that very first bead just to kind of get it out of the way. Let's see if I can do this without my needle. It's entirely up to you if you want to do this piece. You can also, like I said, just cut it off, but I'm just going to kind of string mine up through that first bead and just get it out of the way. All right, now I'm going to flip my work over here. So my tail's coming out this side. So here's my needle. Now to connect this, I need that thread bridge between these 2 beads here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew down through that bead and bring that together. And I'm going to come through the center there, and I'm going to bring it up through so that I'm going right through that bead. Now, you'll notice I have a little gap there. What you can do is just kind of wiggle the beads together to close up that gap. Give it a nice little tug here, and that gap kind of goes away. Because you won't really have enough to add a 31st bead, it will become too crunched, so we kind of have to just wiggle it around just like that. All right, so get my tail out of the way one more time. Now we're ready to start adding the next row. So we're going to go with this lighter purple here. So same thing, go ahead and pick up those 2 seed beads, string them all the way down here to the bottom. And now, instead of going through the center there, what we're going to do is we're going to go underneath that very first thread bridge right there. And bring your needle through. And now they sat very nicely there for me. So I'm going to go up through that last one there that I strung. And now we're ready to continue our bead weaving. So now it's going to look very similar. So I'm going to pick up one more of those light seed beads. I'm going to go underneath that next thread bridge there. So this should all look very familiar. Now, I'm going to add a few beads here, and I'm going to talk you through this because this can be tricky for a lot of people. So what I want to do is, because I'm adding a row that's going to be larger, and actually this second row is going to be 35 beads, I'm going to need a couple beads to share a thread bridge. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to get to about my 5th bead here, and I'm already going to have to do it. So what you'll see happening is that bead, that last one there, wants to kind of sit a little more cockeyed. So what I'm going to have to do is just help him out a little bit, but you'll notice that I have a big gap there with that extra thread bridge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up another seed bead, and I'm going to go through that same thread bridge right there. And again, you're just going to kind of have to help him out, and then put your needle up through there, and now you can continue on to the next thread bridge. So you're going to have to do that a few times here, and just let the beads tell you where they want to go. These Delica beads are pretty uniform. However, some of them do tend to be a little higher, or they're a little cross-cut. So just follow along, and like I said, you're going to add 35 beads to this next ring. So continue to do that, and I'll be back on this other side to show you the next step. So now, in the same way, we're going to add one more, and I'm going to come under this thread bridge here to complete my 35. Again, same technique, going up. So there's my last bead. And now with this one, you're going to just go, and I can try to get it in one, so I can kind of go under that first little thread bridge there, come through, and then go up through that little bead there. So it's the same technique, you're just not using the ring anymore, you're using those thread bridges. All right, and now I'm actually going to take a moment here to bring in my scissors, and I'm going to snip off this little tail here. He is officially getting in my way. But since we've already tied him off earlier, we don't really need to add any more knots to that now. So your piece should start to look like this. Now we're going to continue and start again with the darker purple beads. Again, going under that thread bridge. And this will look very similar to that second row where you'll have to add your extra beads. So for this third row here with the dark purple, we are going to do 40 beads. So we just continue on in the same manner that we did before. All right, so I will meet you on the other side, and go ahead and complete that, and then we will go through how to add on that beautiful row of crystals. Okay, so we've completed that last little loop there at the top, so now we are coming out of that purple bead right there. So to add that row of crystals, we're going to use the white seed beads. So I'm going to pick up one white seed bead and one crystal and one white seed bead. Now, instead of going into the adjacent thread bridge, we're actually going to skip over this one, and we're going to go into the next one there. So we are going to go underneath and catch that last little thread bridge right there. Pull that through. And now the same brick stitch style, we're going to go up through that white seed bead that we have right there, just like so. So now we're going to pick up just a crystal and a seed bead. Again, skipping over that first thread bridge there that's right next to it and going underneath that next one. Pull through, and now go up through that last bead right there. And we're just going to continue in this manner, going all the way around until we've added 20 of our crystals. And when we are done, I will show you how to finish it off. And we're going to finish it off and we're going to add that earring hook and we are going to be all set and ready to go. Okay, so we've now gone all the way around here and we are back to this point here. So instead of picking up a crystal and a seed bead, just pick up a crystal and we're going to go into this seed bead and we're going to do kind of the same thing that we were doing earlier. We're just go down through that one seed bead, come underneath to catch that thread bridge and come back up through that seed bead there and pull tight. Perfect. All right, now we are going to go through the next bicone bead that's right there, the next crystal. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick up one of our white seed beads and we're just going to go directly into the next crystal because we need a seed bead to be horizontal because this is where we're going to attach our jump ring. Now to tie this off, go ahead and sneak your needle underneath there, come up through, go through that little loop and tie your knot. Now just go down through one seed bead here. And if I can, I like to go down through at least that next row there and pull tight. Now you can come in with your scissors or snips, or if you want to use a thread burner, you can do this as well, and just go ahead and cut that off. All right, now our next step here is to add on our jump ring. So go ahead and take your chain nose pliers and your round nose pliers here, or you can use 2 chain nose pliers. Give that jump ring a nice big open, gentle little twist and slip it on to the seed bead here. Now you'll just need to kind of sneak it in there, but it will fit through that seed bead just like so. And before we close that up, we're going to slip on our earring hook. And you can go ahead and set our pliers aside and we are all done. So we now have one earring complete. Go ahead and repeat this entire process to get that second earring. And you are all done. So you can get all of these kits by shopping over at Beadaholique.com. Choose your favorite color and get started with your circular brick stitch. If you're new to our YouTube channel here, be sure to hit that subscribe button below to get all the latest from Beadaholique.